have to have a conversation with yourself and say, why am I doing this career? Am I doing this to be famous, to have money? Because that's not going to happen, Or are you doing this because you love this career? So if you love this career, then you need to work your craft and be the best damn actor you can be. And you may never make it. You may never make the money that you want to make or whatever, but you're going to be the best artist that you can be. And that's when I made that choice. So I think when you make that choice and you put your energy into it and you work your muscle every day for yourself, not to validate anybody else, but you get the hours in, then you start to shine when you get opportunities.
If you're a professional actor challenged by an increasingly fragmented industry, then this podcast is for you. The Hollywood Actor Podcast is an anthology made up of the stories of actors building their bodies of work by redefining themselves, reframing their goals, and reevaluating their opportunities. No matter where we are in our careers, we're always looking to be inspired and to share ourselves across our community. This podcast offers that opportunity to guests and to listeners alike as we all discover what it means to be a working, professional, successful actor. This is Jamie H. Young, and you're listening to the Hollywood Actor Podcast. Today's guest is Christina Jacquelyn Calph. Christina's a big believer in continuously exercising her craft, studying with Austin Pendleton and Mercedes Ruehl at HB Studios. Her credits include Nickelodeon's Side Hustle and the Hollywood films Arthur and Tower Heist. Check out her episode of Side Hustle premiering tonight, March 20th on Nickelodeon, and you can find her web series Bad Girls Ball on YouTube. Now let's check in with Hollywood actor Christina Jacquelyn Calph.
Well, I'm from a little small town outside of Buffalo, south of Buffalo, 45 minutes south. People from Buffalo, I honestly never really went to Buffalo growing up, not that much, just to go to the Galleria Mall. And as I got older and got into like pole dance and dance classes, when I would go home, I would go and take classes in Buffalo, and people there are like, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Dunkirk, New York. And they're like, oh boy, do you even get cell phone reception down there? So I had no idea that Buffalo perceived my area, I'm in the southern tier, like that. Like I was some like redneck hick. But Jeez. So there you have it. So that is where I'm from originally. And I think I went and saw the movie Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin, and in the theater. That was the first movie I ever saw. And first of all, it's really sick. The truth about it is that I had a huge crush on Macaulay Culkin. I thought he was so hot. I was like, oh my God, I love him. I want to do what he's doing. And I'll never forget that moment. I had to have been 3. It was one of those like earliest memories in the parking lot of the decrepit movie theater. In my decrepit town, I said to my mom, "What does Kevin do?" Like I remember his character name and the whole thing. That is one distinct memory I will never forget till the day I die. And I said, "What does Kevin do? I want to do what Kevin does. I would like to meet Kevin. I would like to marry Kevin and have Kevin's babies." That's literally what I was thinking. Because if I do what Kevin does, I can be closer to Kevin and marry him. So, and then she's like, he's an actor. I'm like, I'm being an actor. And I never flinched. Boom. Like maybe I have something in my brain that makes me like a psychopath. I don't know. But I never wanted to be anything else. I wanted to be that. And that was it. So that is how I, dancer, singer, actor, all that fun stuff I wanted to do. I mean, there was one point where in school they asked us to list other careers that we'd want to do. And I think I said lawyer, but I mean, I feel like I could be a good lawyer.
Yeah, you still got eyes on you, right? You're still performing a script.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So yeah, that was that. And then you want me to talk a little bit more about my life there, or just that?
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, obviously New York is this mecca for the region for entertainment and just life, moving forward and maybe just explorative part of most people's lives in the region. But then there's definitely a lot of those people that say, no, I'm never going down there to that Sin City, you know. But
New York
you
City?
saw New York City, yeah. But you probably saw that as a next logical step for yourself, wanting to be an actor.
I wanted to go to Los Angeles. That's where,
Okay.
I don't know where I learned that, but I guess I knew that. But because it can be very isolating in these, like my town isn't even as bad as some other towns, small towns, but it can be like, especially when I was growing up, we didn't have, like, I got my first computer in 1995 and I was, you know, even that was like a dial up and 1995 was 9. So like, you know, it wasn't like I had as much access or knew what was going on in the world, you know, but I just knew LA actors. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to UCLA. But as I got older, I think I applied to 9 colleges and I didn't get into jack squat. I didn't get into one of them, but I did audition a lot in New York City when I was applying for colleges.
Okay.
And that eventually I didn't get into UCLA. There was nowhere else in LA I even knew. So New York just seemed, it was just closer and like more logical. And actually, I would not have asked for a better place to start because New York and me, we fell madly in love and it was like the end. But when I was in my hometown, I was very bored all the time. I remember like staying inside my house, just staring out, wishing that I could like go do something with friends. You know, there was not a lot of kids in school. Kids did not understand me because I was very, like I said, I knew I wanted to be an actor and that was all she wrote. So I knew I wanted to be that. I was very vocal about that. I would, you know, audition for everything and get everything because there's like nobody in the town. So
were you the star of all of your high school plays then?
Well, 3 of them. The 4th one I got kicked out of because it was political. Can you believe my senior year? They frickin' kicked me out of the dance. I didn't even get a part. I got leading parts freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. They kicked me out because I guess I just, you know, I was a big energy, you know, but I wasn't like popular. I was very not popular, you know, growing up, but, I wasn't very popular, but I knew what I wanted and I would, you know, I was like my parents didn't really, they're sweet. You know, my parents are sweet and everything. My mother listens to all my shit, so I got to watch what I say. Sorry. So she does. She freaking watched a live cast I did and she was like, what did you say about your upbringing? What are you, paupers? We're paupers? Is that? And the devil took, and like you were afraid of Catholics. I'm like, oh my God. So now let me color things like a little bit more shade of yellow. Anyways, but there
you go, Mom. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what was I forget what I was saying. Anyways,
well, going through high school and
blah, blah, blah.
starring in some of these plays and then getting kicked out of the senior play, but still finding your way to New York and the mean streets kind of embracing you, huh?
Yes. So sorry. Thank you. My mother, they didn't really understand how to do anything. My mother and father were very young when they had me and they did not know how to, they were supportive, put me in dance class and all that. But like country bumpkin, man, they don't know colleges and shit. My dad went to college. My mom went to culinary school, like a culinary program, but like everybody stayed kind of in the same area. They didn't know about like going to be an actor, being on TV or what the heck that was. So applying for colleges was something that they were not comfortable with. So I had to figure that shit out all by myself. And boy, did I did not, now knowing what I know now, I probably could have gotten into a school or two, but I did not get into any schools, but I was determined because I knew what I wanted to do and I knew I had to get the hell out of that town. It was just so boring. I would rather be on the streets in New York City than in that town, like bored out of my mind. That's kind of how I felt. But I did get into the American Musical Dramatic Academy.
Okay.
Yes. So that one I did get into and went to there. And it's so funny. Jason, in my class, there was Jason Derulo, who he was there for maybe a month. And then he went and became like a freaking sensation.
Jason
and Nicole
Derulo.
Yes. Oh my God,
of course.
You sound just like him. But
that's exciting. Oh, Nicole Byer.
And Nicole Byer, she did the whole program.
Cool.
Her and I lived in the frickin' Stratford Arms with like, seriously, it was an old insane asylum that they converted into a dorm room.
Whoa.
It was sickening. It was sickening. And we would sleep, like all of the students there. And people were like, yeah, I woke up with a roach on my face. I woke up, me personally, my story, I brushed my teeth. Mice would like be on my ankles and I'd have like roaches on my back and on my face, not my face, my back. They would crawl up my back while I was sleeping. But it was like, that was better than being in my freaking one light town. You know what I mean? So I was just happy to be moving on up and doing acting. It was a conservatory. So you're singing, dancing, acting for a year and a half throughout the program, doing what you love, getting your ass to the city and, figuring it out. And I did that right out of high school. Yeah.
Did that set you up to start auditioning for musicals in New York, or were you starting to find different indie types of sketch comedy?
Right when I finished school, so I, went through school, put myself through school, got a waitressing job while I was doing that. And then it taught you, oh God, boy, I feel like these programs, these schools don't really teach you the reality of what it's going to be. Like it did help me a little bit. I got a tour, right? A children's theater tour, right? I think I was right in my final semester. I got that and it was a good way to start off my life, my career.
That's a great way to get your feet wet. It was touring around the regionally, or?
Yes, it was like the Midwest to, it was I don't forget what they call it, bus and truck or what the hell they call it. But we were literally in a cargo van and we'd stay in hotels and we'd set up the set. It was very low budget children's theater tour. But then I didn't really feel at the time, looking back at my age now, I feel like it is a nice education. I learned lots of things. Like I loved transcribing like texts so you can speak it without your Buffalo accent, stuff like that. And like, how to interpret a song and, it could have been, I felt at the time that it was a shit program, but now looking back, I don't think it was shit. I think my personal belief about acting in general is that it's like working out or losing weight. You have to constantly be exercising your muscle, constantly be taking class, even while you're working or auditioning. You have to keep taking class because you don't want to get rusty, So that's where I think it was good. I was learning from lots of different teachers who all had different, some were better than others. Some I connected more with others. And it definitely, I started my book, my repertoire as far as musical theater goes. And, I don't feel like I really started feeling comfortable in booking work until I got with Austin Pendleton at HB Studio. Austin is where I joined that soon after I stopped the program. My college ended. Mm-hmm. Then I got with Austin, and that's where I felt like, oh, wow, now I feel like I'm really learning a lot. But I just happened to connect with him, and I liked his ways, and, that just worked for me.
And you still work with Austin Pendleton, right?
Oh, yeah. So oh my gosh, right when I graduated school, I got with Austin and I did that for like several years, kind of like on and off between taking UCB, improv classes. I would go from Austin to UCB to Austin to UCB. And then I moved to LA. So I stopped taking with Austin, but because of the pandemic for the past year now, I've been studying with Austin and I'm his key student now. So after like 6-year hiatus of not seeing Austin, I kind of went back in and started taking class online.
Right. So you went on to Zoom pretty quick.
Yes.
That's great. Some of these studios have really struggled. Some still haven't created Zoom classes out of their workshops. So that's encouraging.
Yes, really. That's great. I mean, I need to like venture out and explore different classes, but at HB is like I've explored different teachers now within the Zoom world. Mm-hmm. You can take a class in freaking England if you want. You can take a class in Austin, Texas. I mean, I've kind of stuck with New York City, even though right now I'm in LA. But I should probably venture out because I've heard of really good classes in Austin. But anyways, I digress.
Well, no, it's really nice to see how these walls have been dissolving, but still connecting with people, and then you're realizing that connection. You're finding something with that person. They're finding something with you, and then you develop that history. They know better how to guide you and inform you.
Yeah, people are like, I'm not taking a class over Zoom, but I'll tell you, my work has improved so much, even with the Zoom class. It's not ideal, no, but it's been very eye-opening with how much we feel and understand as human beings without having to be in the same room with people. You know, there's so many different ways we communicate with each other. You don't even have to look at each other to feel things, to know things. You know, I feel like our brain is way more powerful than we give it credit for, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny how quickly we've adjusted. And it's really interesting to see with Zoom how we're able to see ourselves potentially in that film or TV show. It's much more suited for that.
Yes, which is so important. Oh, God, so important.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So coming out of AMDA and then working with UCB, you're looking for more training in HB Studios. Was UCB and HB helping you get into the indie film of it all in New York City, starting to develop sketch comedy?
Well, okay, so let me reverse back, because I a little bit. So when I first got out of, was a big fan of self-submission. I'm not opposed to doing stuff for free. I am been in this business now since 2006. It is now 2021. If you are not an asshole, I will work with you for free. You know what I mean? Because I like, this is another thing. I also am similar to Austin Pendleton in this regard, in that I just want to work. I want to work my muscle. I want to practice. I want to work my craft. And I don't think just because you don't have a lot of money on a project does not mean that you are not good at, this is my belief. Other people could feel differently about it, because people will say, well, I'm an actor and you wouldn't pay your this, and you wouldn't pay your lawyer, you wouldn't pay your doctor. But you know what? Lawyers work pro bono. Okay, guess what? The lawyers who love their job work pro bono. The
they
lawyers
sure do,
they want to help people out. Because guess what? I've tried to put my stuff together and I've had $0, living off food stamps.
Yeah.
So I've had to scrape and do everything I could to beg people to do things for me, because I didn't have the money, and not everybody is lucky financially. So yes, I did everything and anything I could get my hands on coming out of school, whether it was paid or not. And I still vow to that to this day. If you're an asshole and you want me to work in your thing for free, no. Not going to happen. Sorry, I'm not trying to be negative with the podcast, but I'm being honest.
That's great advice, right?
Yeah, well, if you are a kind person and you don't have a lot of money, I will help you out, because you know what? Kindness needs to be in this world. And I want to support people that are nice to people and that want to do something with their life and want to whatever. So that's how I feel about it. And that's how I was in the beginning of my career too, plus to build a reel and all that. So I was looking on Craigslist. I was looking on Actors Access. I was looking on New York castings. Oh my God. Everywhere. I was applying all the time. I had tons of auditions all the time, because when you're casting that wide of a net and you don't care whether you're paid or not, you're going to get so many freaking auditions. And I was looking everywhere.
You're going to get to work right away.
Yes. And what I would do is I've been kind of lazy with it lately. But no, actually I did change it, but I'm trying to stay on track here.
Awareness about judgment.
Yes. I would get a book and I would write every audition I had. So I'd say like the name of the project, the casting director, the role, where I got it from. So, and then I would say, okay, Christina, you got 30 of these. And if you don't get it, like you have 30 of these until you get a callback. Don't have anxiety until you hit 30 auditions before you have a panic attack that you didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And if I would get a callback, that would set me back to number one. So I was kind of challenging myself to try to have a little bit of results. Although talk about 2020, I went on 87 auditions and I didn't get diddly squat. So there's that. But it's a different world today than back in 2008.
Well, statistics, they don't apply to the individual sometimes, but they are good to kind of help you psychologically deal with this industry, which is extremely nonlinear, as we've heard from many of our Hollywood actors.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. So then, anyways, so UCB, that I wanted to start my own YouTube channel, which I did. And I kind of wanted to do that so I could have fun with my friends, truthfully, and and make funny videos with my girlfriends and just do stupid things in the city. Cause I liked sexy comedy. I liked dancing. I would go dance. I was a dancer. So I would dance, backup dance for things. I was taking dance classes at Broadway Dance Center. So I liked wearing sexy outfits and doing sexy things for myself, not for validation of guys, but it was a point of view that I really liked to explore. And I knew a lot of girls in New York that were like that. So I wanted to make videos with my girlfriends being sexy and funny and weird. And my channel allowed me to do that. And also, I worked in, my side job was, oh my God, oh God, Jamie, I hope you don't think I'm a dumdy.
This is great. I love this.
I hope I'm sticking on track a little bit, but,
and the name of that channel was Bad Girls Ball, right?
I still do videos on there. That's a whole story, which we'll probably get to in part 2, but, about that whole journey, because it seems the way you described my IMDb, Jamie, it really is when you said things are not non-linear. It's not my career is so non-linear. Like when you say, oh, in UCB, did you start sketch comedy and indie stuff? Jamie, I booked Arthur then. I booked the biggest film I've done so far was when I was kind of slightly in the beginning of my career.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I went to the indie stuff and sketch comedy stuff.
And
that's how, it's not like I built up and theoretically, yes, you think that you did the training, you did all this indie stuff, and then you booked the big thing. It's not always like that. I was doing my channel. I just started it, but I really believe I was having so much fun getting drunk with my girlfriends, doing stupid videos, seriously, that I attracted Arthur to me because I didn't care. I remember distinctly this moment on the sidewalk talking to my girlfriend and saying, I just feel so good. I feel zen. I feel complete. I was just so happy. Seriously, like I was gonna tell you, I worked for liquor companies where I would go and do tastings. So they would give me sometimes 6 bottles of tequila. So the same tequila. So I would save the bottles and try to use as little as I could for the tasting so that I could use those bottles as presents for people and also to throw parties with my girlfriend. I'd say, look, I can't pay you to be in my videos, but come and I'll get you guys wasted after. We'll have a huge party. I'll get pizza and whatever. And that's what I used to do. And we'd have so much fun. So that was really fun for me and fulfilling. So I think that is what made me relax and ultimately attracted Arthur to me. Because I was just having so much fun with the hustle of it all, of the business and Anyway, so when I was doing HB UCB, that combo, I booked Arthur and at the same time was doing my channel and stuff like that. So that's kind of what happened there. And then the really getting into my channel came after.
What was your experience on Arthur?
Oh man, that was such a dream. It was I thought that, God, I'm such a freaking small town dumdy, but I thought,
hey,
well, it's kind of, it's I didn't know the business. I just assumed that I was such a small potato that I would never okay, they're having auditions because they have to have auditions. That's what I thought. And they're probably going to give it to somebody who's more famous or has better credits, whatever. So when I got the Arthur audition, I just assumed that they had to do it as a formality because I auditioned for Footloose. I was unknown. I auditioned for the lead in Gossip Girl. So I was auditioning for things and for competing against, I had no resume and I'm competing against people like Blake Lively and I think Joanna I forget her last name, Joanna something, who ended up getting that. So I always just assumed, oh, well, they're kind of famous. Like, I'm not going to get it over them. So I just assumed every part was like that. So with Arthur, I auditioned, and when I got the callback, I almost peed my pants. I was like, what the hell? And my callback was, I had to do 3 auditions for that. The second callback was with the director and the casting director. And then the third audition was with Russell Brand and all the producers and all that in actually a hotel lobby, or not lobby, but like a conference room, which I found interesting. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting that they didn't do it in like an office or something. It was like all the producers were there in this like big room, and it was down to me and another girl. I am, sexy comedy is something that I loved. Like, that was my whole channel. I liked being sexy and I liked being funny, and I had no problem being weird, which, I don't know. I feel like that doesn't that combo doesn't always happen.
It's just you love doing it.
I like showing my ass, and I like making a weird face while I'm doing it.
Perfect.
Not a lot of women are comfortable with that. So that's what actually, what I ended up finding out. That's what kind of set me apart, because the other girl that was up for it, she just had a voice like this. That's it. It was just like, she talked like that. That's the only thing that made her different or weird. Me, she was really pretty and skinny, and I was like, oh my God, everybody here is so skinny and pretty, and I'm not, blah, blah, blah. You think those things. But sometimes if you come up with like a character, then you can set yourself apart in other ways, But also, times have changed since then. It's not as much. I don't get told.
Yeah, this is 2011
that
we're talking about.
Yes, that's honestly not that. Oh, no, that's 10 years ago now. It's like back then, it's, people could be harsh, being told that I was told to lose weight all the time, up until a couple of years ago, truthfully. But no, that must have been 2016, the last time.
And having auditions in hotels. I'm sure a lot of actresses would tell their agent, I'm not going to that callback if it's at a hotel in 2021.
Yeah, maybe, but I didn't. Yes, maybe. Yes. I do think that some people might have had that reaction, although I had no idea where it was. I just had an address. And also there was like 8 producers. It was a huge room. It wasn't like a hotel, like a bedroom.
Yeah,
it was so big difference. But I was a little like, oh my God, is this a real film? Like, why are we in a hotel? That's kind of weird. You think that they would be able to afford, but that probably was more expensive. Anyways, anyway, so that was an exhilarating time. I got to do, what's it called? A reading of the script, a read through with like with Helen Mirren sitting next to me, and that was really cool. And getting to work with Helen Mirren, that was probably the highlight for me. Oh yeah. It was interesting because everybody thinks, at the time, everybody thought that she was so refined and proper because of the Queen that came out. She just won an Oscar for.
Right.
But she is like such a sex pot hippie. She is. And I didn't know that. Because I didn't, of course, I was so young. Oh my God, I barely knew how to act. And I didn't do my research on things really. I was kind of like a putz, party girl putz, but I love to act. I was determined, and like, I'm not going to sell myself as a party girl. I was very determined. I had to pay my way through school and got my own apartment at 19. And like, I had to have some seriousness to me. And I was very serious about being an actor, and I thought I was great.
Yeah.
So at the time I thought it was an excellent actress, but
but you're still extremely early in your career. Yeah. Yeah. You're still learning the business, learning who you are as an actress.
Yes. And I always have room to grow. And I just had an audition where I feel like I don't know how to act at all. And that is like, it's almost 15 years later. So there's that. Anyways. So, but yeah, she was very sexy herself, and she was not playing a sexy role. And I could tell she didn't like it, because I know she's just an older version of me. You know what I mean? Like, that girl who likes to be sexy and do sexy parts and, fun stuff like that. And so it was interesting to gain that perspective of a very famous actress, when you assume like, oh, she did the Queen so well, she must be, no, she's still a hippie sex pot, which we end up seeing. Like, now she posts pictures of herself in bikinis, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, Helen Mirren's a fox. But
Where did
yeah,
you
that
end
was
up
cool.
shooting Arthur? Was that in New York City?
Yes, it was in New York.
Okay.
This was, it's funny, Jamie, because I had a lot. I mean, now I'm starting to do better. It took me a while in Los Angeles. That's a whole another part of this, I'm sure, thing. But New York was really, it's a smaller pool. This is my theory. People disagree all the time with me and say, no, Christina, that wasn't my experience. Here's my experience. Like, your Actors Access in New York City, it's like slightly smaller than LA, but it's got better quality things. Everybody's more connected, which, because it's a smaller world, it's not like so small like, Atlanta or Austin, Texas. It's bigger than that, but it's still smaller than the deep ocean that is Los Angeles. So that really, I was really able to, with no connections really, get into things. And now, mind you, one thing that I did miss is that after I got out of school, I knew it was very important to get an agent and a manager. And there was, and there still is, in New York City, here's another pro for New York City, you can freelance. So I had 7 agents at one point.
Really?
Trying to get me work. Yes, you do not have to sign.
You're hip pocketed by 7.
Yes. They don't even, I mean, I don't know. It's just, you're working with them. They get you something, you get it, whatever. I had 7 agents. It was amazing.
Right.
So so what I did was I would pay to audition for the agents. So I would go to Impossible Casting. I don't know if they're there anymore. One-on-one, places like that. I've spent probably way over $1,000 trying to meet casting directors and agents and managers. But that's how I found my first agent about artists.
Okay. For like one-on-one meetings and these agency showcase nights.
Yes, I was doing a ton of them, and I was just sucking it up and doing it. And it sucks. It is what it is. But you know what? It's better a lot of us, like, this is my opinion, we live in a society where if you are connected, like, with family, or you have money, or whatever, you have more resources. If you are a girl from where people in Buffalo, New York think where you are from is the sticks, like, you do not have connections. You have to, it's sick, it's sad, it's shitty, but I had to pay in order to get connected with agents and managers. So, but it was better to meet them than not at all. Once shit hit the fan in LA when I was here, and then we couldn't do the paid audition things anymore, and like whatever. I didn't do anything I didn't have any connections. I didn't know anybody. How was I supposed to get a chance?
And you couldn't even pay to meet with a casting director if you wanted to.
No, you can now, but they can't collect your things and da 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 da. It's like ridiculous. But anyway,
for educational purposes only. And there was definitely that event, with the Criminal Minds casting director, and that shut things down for a number of years when you were trying to get started in Hollywood. Can you talk a little bit about coming off of Arthur and continuing to work in New York, but still having that eye for Hollywood and your eventual move out to Los Angeles?
Yes. Wait, really quick. I just want to add really quick. So one thing, though, that I will say, I don't know if you have like aspiring actors watching this really quick, that I just want to throw in, is that, okay, so let's say you don't have the money to pay for the thing. What I did buy it's called Call Sheet now. Back in the day, it was called Ross Reports. And this is what I did many times. And I'm probably going to do it now because I want a new commercial agent. So what you do is you buy the call sheet, and in it has all the agents and managers in the United States. And you email every single person in there. You send them your headshot, your resume, and a little intro about yourself. And any real footage is very, very important. So do that for free. If they say we don't accept emails, this is my advice, and take it or leave it. But I say, F that, I'm going to email you, too bad. And I would make it seem personal. So like I knew, like I would compliment them. I'd start the email by complimenting them. I really like how you did this for this. Oh my gosh, you rep my friend, blah, blah, blah. That's so
right. That's
great.
a great one.
And then, I'm a really big fan of you, and I just would love for you to look at my material. And this is who I am. And then you bold different things. And then you say, I would love to hear from you. In the email, I don't send attachments. I put, resume, headshot. I got 26 meetings when I came to LA and needed a rep, and and you take the meetings. But anyways, so that I just wanted to add that in because just in case anybody was looking. Agent and manager, so key, and it's so important. And it is important to have somebody that is actually getting you in the room, because right now I'm on a roster. I have an agent that gets me one audition a year. They're not focused on me. They do not care. I'm not a priority. They've got to go. Getting older, you find somebody that's going to fight for you and that believes in you, because I finally got a manager that gets me an audition a week. Now, that is something I never experienced. I have sat on rosters. I can tell you, Jamie, I'm just so passionate about this, and I just want people to understand this, because people will say, oh, it's bad to agent hop. No, it is bad to sit on somebody's roster and get no appointments. That is bad. All you're doing is getting older and you are not working. That person is not working for you. I'd say give them a year. I would go a year, 6 months. Nobody got me a damn audition. Not one, nothing. I'd have to, the auditions, then I go to another agency, and the auditions they get me, well, Christina, you're going to have to dye your hair purple for this audition. Can you spray your hair purple? Christina, can you water ski for this audition? Can you do point on your point shoots? I would not get any auditions that were like a normal person. You know what I mean? Like just a person. I had to have some weird thing. And that's why that's all that person can do for me.
No, you want to work with somebody who wants to work with you.
Yes,
who wants to work with who you are, your essential and your the thing that you resonate, the energy that you naturally bring into an office, because that's what you're naturally going to be going out to. If you keep changing, nobody knows who you are. You dissolve your brand, you dissolve your loyalty to yourself, your identity, your product. Mm-hmm. And I think that's excellent advice, between 6 months and a year of allowing an agent to start pitching you, to start getting the momentum behind you. They should be pitching you
from day one, though.
Yes.
Day one. So it's like, that's where and it doesn't get a rev. It doesn't need a rev. The reason why I learned that is because I finally got a good manager where I saw immediate results, because the person is pitching, the person believes in me, and I'm actually getting some traction, which is holy shit, my eyes are now open for what I've been dealing with, for the past, oh my God, I started when I was 19. I am now 34, for most of my life. So it's ridiculous. That's why I'm just so adamant when people would say, well, you don't want to be known as an agent hopper. People don't effing know. The agents don't no one's going to know that. Nobody's going to care. Literally no one cares. And there's a quadrillion casting directors out there. You need them to see your face. And these people are not, if you don't see yourself getting in the room, then you are not being pushed. They are not that into you. Move on. I don't know.
Yeah. And 6 months is a good amount of time. You're still being a loyal actor, and you did give it a fair chance.
And I'm not talking, if you're getting an audition a month, I mean, for me, that's even good stats. I'm okay, I'd be happy with an audition a month, oh wow, you got me 6 auditions, 6 months. For me, I'd even be okay, you're trying. That actually is not bad. But when you're talking one audition in 6 months, one audition in a year, maybe I was being too nice. I've been with this one agency, I think now for a couple of years, and I've gotten 3 auditions. That's it. They got to go. But they're good. Now that's another problem. Sorry, really quick, and I'll get back to it. Another problem is when you find yourself with a good agency, I'm with one of the best commercial agents out there, but they don't do anything for me. They don't care about me. I'm not a priority to them. So is this a good fit? It's okay, yes, you look great on paper. It looks nice on my IMDb to see that I'm with so-and-so, but you're not doing anything for me because I'm not a priority to you. So am I doing myself a disservice by being with you? Because you're not that into me. You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing that I'm dealing with and learning with right now, because I'm oh, but I really want to be with this top agency and get to say I'm with the same agent that reps so-and-so, but at the end of the day, I'm not working, so it's
exactly.
Commercially, when that's something I feel that should be easier than theatrical. But that's just but anyways, that is my blah, blah, blah about that. But, sorry, what did you ask me?
Oh, no, I was just going to draw the parallel to, I guess, because we're watching the Golden Globes yesterday, but Charles and Diana, yes, she's potentially marrying a prince, but look, he's just not that into you. Maybe you should go for someone that loves you for who you are.
That's so true. That is like the perfect parallel to that,
It's funny. Yeah. Yeah, and finding that partnership, and people keep throwing around that idea to make sure it's a good fit for you. And that can seem a little hackneyed, or people don't understand what that means, but it really is finding that specific relationship of a reputable agent that does like you for you and is passionate about pitching you and getting you work because they believe so much in who you are.
Yes. It's like, this career is definitely not for the weak-hearted. Even myself, I have to pull up my pants a little bit and be like, Christina, stop being lazy, because I know, and you feel, when something's not working out, and you're going to have to oh God, I have to put myself back out there. Every single agent wants new headshots. Every single agent wants new effing headshots. Jamie, if I told you how many goddamn headshots I have taken in my career, it is ridiculous. It's like, just did headshots. Why do you need new headshots? I don't know. They do. That they just think that new headshots is going to solve all the damn problems in the world. So anyways, but I just do it now. It's like, okay, you want new headshots? Here's your goddamn headshots. There you go.
Thanks for listening to the Hollywood Actor Podcast. If you like this content, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.